all the people out here that we met in Scotland are all pretty same. They love the Venus Project. They're working hard. They're talking to other people about it. And I would say so far, our trip has been very successful. And a lot of people are interested. And they're asking all kinds of questions, from psychology students to scientists. And I would say that so far the lecture is most successful. And tomorrow we do the major report in Scotland. Now Scotland is kind of cool this time of the year. Even every place we've been has been pretty cool. Ireland is our next stop. So we'll see how it goes. I think that we have a fairly good following in Ireland of the Zeitgeist movement. I'm going to address them. I'm going to address a group tonight of Zeitgeist people and a mixture of others that know nothing or little about the Venus Project. I'm going to present it tonight. I wouldn't say tonight, around 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And it's amazing how uniform the questions are. Everybody seems to ask similar questions. I haven't heard a new question in a long time. I mean, always, you get the same thing, Joe?
Yeah. Most of the questions that come in on the phone are pretty much covered in the frequently asked questions. So.
Yes.
Yeah.
I haven't had anything exciting or really new, and that doesn't give me a chance to explain detail. When I would get back to you later, when we get back to Florida, I'm going to go over a lot of details with you, things that should be asked. Okay?
Okay, that's great.
What's that?
Yeah.
Who makes the decisions?
Right.
And how to arrive at them? Is it a democratic process, autocratic? In other words, is it a participatory democracy, or does the technical elitists make those decisions? And who finally decides on city design, and how do you arrive at that? Each individual has to decide what they want to make of their life, what they'd like to accomplish, what they'd like to do. Remember, there's no taxation and no fees for university students. They can go to school and study anything they want to study for the first time in their lives without exiting in debt. See, if a guy wants to be a doctor, sometimes he has to work as a waiter at night, and then he has to do his homework and study. That is not proper for people, for human beings. They have to be given the leisure time to study. They cannot be under pressure. All those things have to be worked out so that people have the optimal opportunities without being in debt when they leave. And people will study whatever field they want to, not because they have to.
Yeah.
Let me turn it over to Roxanne. She can give you specific details of Scotland.
Okay. Thanks,
Yeah.
Shot.
I think the question we get the most is about the transition. But, you know, as we always tell them, we don't have control over that. Some people want to do things right away and they want to crash the system, but, you know, if they go out and demonstrate and set fire to things, that's not at all what we're about. It's an educational process to a new value system and social direction. This system has already got it down pat. If you go set fires and things like that, you'll end up in jail, and we need all the people we have who understand this direction.
Yeah.
As I said, that's not what we're about, doing something like that. Greece is doing that anyway. People are really mad. They're in the streets. They're setting fires. It didn't have anything to do with the Zeitgeist movement or the Venus Project. Greece is really, really particular about doing things so they don't end up in jail. They're not associated with that because they're more so associating with scientists, businessmen even, and trying to get the word out about a new direction. This system's falling apart. You don't have to do anything with it. You have to wait for biosocial pressures, we call them, the march of events. And when enough people are having a hard time. Unfortunately, that's what it'll take for them to look around and say, what's an alternative direction? And this is the only one I see that's viable, workable direction. That's not just trying to do patchwork within this system. There's a lot of people who are just have an emotional appeal. They want to fix things, but they don't know what the real problems are. So we work on what are the causes of the problems and designing a society so we don't have those problems, looking at the root causes of them, which is very different than the way people think. They blame the individual. So the transition is really up to what we do in getting this information out there. We're really at the very early stages. We've gone pretty far so far. But every place we go, the membership increases tremendously, which is very exciting to hear.
Any idea how many people worldwide are involved? Anybody got a head count?
No, I guess you
Active
can get
people?
that on TeamSpeak or Simon from the UK is here. We're in Scotland right now, and
Oh, but he's in Scotland?
yeah, we're staying at somebody's house, and he's staying here also. And they're going to do an interview today with us. And every place we go, they do a lot of interviews, and they're doing a lot of short videos. And Simon is here from the UK, and he was telling me how much the membership has gone up all over. I've heard that too, everywhere that we've been. Anyway, I just wanted to mention something. We're staying at a home here, and husband and wife, and the husband is off because he's working for several weeks. He's kind of on and off. No, it's okay. I talked to her about that. Jacques telling me not to say that, but it's okay. It's just public. The information's public information, really. But he works for the oil industries, and she was telling us. Unfortunately he's not here, but because he does work on and off, and so she was telling me that the oil companies all over the world have restrictions that they've had in place for a long, long time. And anything that happened, like in the Gulf, would have never happened in other locations. Might be a broad statement, but this is what she was saying, that that her husband 10 years ago said that he's a diver for the oil company. He used to be, now he's a supervisor. But 10 years ago, he said he would never dive around American shores or in the Gulf of Mexico because they have no restrictions like the rest of the world. They do not have the safety regulations in place like the rest of the world do. And they saw it coming. There were, I don't know whether it was oil companies or other companies that pulled out a couple weeks before. They warned what was going on, and they pulled out. I don't know if I have that story exactly right, word for word, but this is just the gist of what she told me, that the United States are just like cowboys. They do what they want to do. And she said that, I asked, well, are the regulations in place now that this happened? There's half of the regulations that the rest of the world that they didn't have that are not in place. And, we're still prone for catastrophe because of it. So it's really a terrible thing that's going on there, and doesn't seem to be fixed yet. They seem to do what they want. Yeah, for him 10 years ago to say that he would never dive in American waters was quite a statement, and he didn't. So we're going to go, and we'll talk to you soon.
Where are you going, breakfast?
Yeah, we're going to breakfast. Then the lecture is Saturday. The lecture is pretty much on Saturdays all over. And then as Jacques said, we go to Ireland. And then, I don't know the sequence, but we're going to Germany and Italy. In between Ireland, we're going to Bristol, England. And Germany and Italy and Switzerland and Iceland, perhaps. We'll see what happens there.
Yeah, I was wondering about Iceland. Is that on or off, or what's going on?
We're trying to confirm it. And then we go to 5 stops in Canada, and they seem to be very active in Canada.
Yeah.
It's a large movement in Canada. So that's going to be real interesting. then eventually back to Venus in November. There's a lot of people who are writing asking about the tours in Venus if we're going to continue them. So
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll be doing that when we get back.
Right, sounds good.
All right, see ya.
See ya.